It feels like a role reversal. Normally, I'm the one who's back announcing the music and you're the one who's doing the interviews.
Literally, but here we are.
Yeah, for sure. So I'd like to start with Still Me. I mean, I think the big question on everybody's mind is you released the EP last year on your 40th. Hey, you are adulting now, ne?
Dude, I'm old now. I feel it in the hips. That's where you, and the knees. You can't washo anymore.
Collagen, darling, collagen. And yeah, maybe a bit of salmon as well. But getting back to the EP, why revisit it so soon after launching it? And why do a live version of the EP?
So it happened by mistake. We were supposed to do a radio performance.
Okay.
And then there was a technical issue, and being the perfectionist I am, I said, why don't we just record it in studio? We rehearsed. And the crew came and shot, and we're like, why are we not releasing this? Outside of content being king, the live version always has a different flavor. So it just was meant to be, I guess.
So you said that Still Me Live is a declaration of identity and devotion. Can you delve into that a little bit deeper and tell us what exactly it means for you in this season of adulting and being 40-something?
I think it being about identity and devotion, it's not that you find yourself, you just remember who you were. And I think in this process, I've been on a journey of remembering who I am. And that plays into spirituality and faith. Nothing is by coincidence, nothing is by accident. And it is honoring also those that came before us, that guide us. And of course, God got my back.
Speaking of the Lord, 40 is a period of trial and testing.
That, Lord.
Yes, that one. I think I've been watching Medea too much.
Yes, clearly.
Thank you, Lord. Yeah. Maya Angelou. That's for the TikTok people. Anyway, we're speaking of faith, and 40 represents in the Bible a period of trial and testing. We look at Moses, how he, in the wilderness, firstly, of course, he wandered into the desert after committing murder, and then that was a 40-year period.
I love how you have to mention he committed murder.
You know what I'm saying? Took matters in his own hands, I suppose. And then 40 years wandering with the Israelites in the desert. So there's that significance, and Jesus obviously fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. So significantly, you released the EP. But you're a faith person. I mean, you were quite moved on stage when you did that gospel song. Tell us a bit more about the grounding, the spirituality, and the influence of your grandma.
I think the older you get, especially when you become a parent, and you understand that the only way children are going to learn is by mirroring not just what you do, but who you are. And upon reflecting over the years, I can safely and confidently say that my grandmother was my safe space. It was never, ever, even after a hiding, a thought in my mind that I'm not loved. I felt it all the time, consistently, through food and through so many things. Then I look at the life that she lived, leaving an abusive marriage with nothing, surviving everything, didn't know how to read, but was able to still achieve everything she did. She passed at the age of 96, but up until her later years, she still was up doing things. We would have 3 fresh meals a day. She would wake up at 4, 5 in the morning because she knows how much we love lidombolo. Then for lunch, it would be frikadelles and chips. For suppers, she was love. There was no boundary. Even if she was unwell, she would refuse to rest. Now, obviously, we're in the era where we recognize we don't want to be mbogotos. We're not rocks, we are flowers. Don't, step on us. But I can also recognize the extreme humility she had. And she was such a forgiving person. I cannot think of anybody else that I've learned that kind of humility from. She never turned anybody away. I don't know how to cook for 2 people because of my grandmother. She always said somebody might come and need a plate of food, and people always did. And a funny story, she was an OG. The one time my cousin, sister, and I mean, we must have been preteen. We were walking in Zirbekom, those that know Zirbekom, with my grandmother. And a grown man made some sexual pass at us. I didn't even see that backhand come. She clapped him so hard. It was like, for tech, these are my babies. Don't you ever. And even when you're out kodiplasing at the farms, when it became unsafe, she feared nothing. She would take her shambok when she heard a sound outside and would go. When we were screaming because there's a rat, she'd be carrying it live. So the fact that you can have such strength and softness, such humility and simplicity in how you love all in one person, how can I explain that other than God? I can't, because the things she did were beyond human capacities. I still am like, girl, you did too much in some of the situations. But outside of that, I carry that with me. It's
our grandmothers and mothers who teach us grace. I remember my granny, my ayah, never took measurements in terms of what she put in the pot. You always cook extra. Just put it with your hands. Cook with your hands, not with a recipe. But they knew what they were doing. And it came out so good because it was made with love. So family is obviously an important part of your life. And how has other people in your family influenced this body of work?
I think because in lockdown we were so isolated, I had the opportunity to also be de-influenced, which sometimes you need. You know, when we spend a lot of time, especially as women, we're on the phone with one another often. You don't recognize that you rely on somebody's opinion. You need to say, Ish, my boss did this, because you need someone to either validate or something. And for the first time in lockdown, I didn't need any of that. I was just like, I have nothing to lose. I just left Metro FM and I was like, I think I'm done with radio. I'd rather do talk. So while I'm in lockdown, what do I have to lose? Let me produce a show and have real conversations with people and make music that's not on a client deadline. Hey, I have no budget. It was just me and words. So it was so important for me to be de-influenced, because we do have a tendency to need constant sounding boards. And not to say I wasn't insecure. I mean, I would be saying to RJ, does this sound silly? Does this make sense? And he'd consistently be like, what are you talking about? Like, it makes sense. So that was a period for me to actually hear myself and hear the things that my being is saying.
So watching you during Mamochai's prayer, the performance, and how emotional you were and how connected you are to the song as well, is it difficult performing a song like that that's so personal? But at the same time, for me, as somebody who appreciates authentic music, it was beautiful. So how difficult or challenging is it for you to perform a song that's so personal live?
Firstly, singing a song in front of an artist who's performed it themselves, the phenomenal Lebose Khobela. Please stand up for everybody to give you such a big round of applause. It's intimidating. Obviously, from my work behind the scenes, I know so many singers, but I kind of said to myself that I'm a vessel at the end of the day. It's not about whether I'm hitting the notes. And if you don't surrender to what that means, and you start to think too much about what you look like, what you sound like, then you're not fully being the vessel you are meant to be. And that applies to all the songs. I think I just got so emotional because the energy in the room, the energy with the band, it was somewhere. Everybody in this room has lost somebody they love. Everybody knows the feeling of grief slapping you like it just happened, even though it's 10 years old. And for me, my prayer before a show is like, yo, God, use me for what I'm meant to be used for. It's not about, hey, my voice, my this. It's use me. And I think when you surrender, you don't know what realm you're going to go to. You don't know where you're going to go.
I guess we are celebrating our perfect imperfections as well, as we keep it real. And I'm not sure if the streaming audience picked up on the energy, but certainly in the room, there was a lot of love here in the room. And thank you for sharing yourself, your soul with us. You are a broadcaster, both radio and TV, and that's why you and I intersected on radio at 702. But you've also done production, you've been in the entertainment industry. And about 10 years ago, we were having that conversation in the corridors when Prime Media was in the old building in Fredman Drive, or Alice Lane rather. And you said to me, you're going to release an album or an EP It's been about 10 years, though. So I'm just asking.
What happened?
Yes. Or did we have to wind the diesel engine up or something? Or was it about divine timing?
Let me be honest. I'm actually not originally a recording artist. I'm a live stage performer. I struggled with the process of, Chad, my musical director, producing me in studio. I needed to sing it like that. I'm like, what do you mean? He'd be like, you see what you just did? Do it again. I'm like, I don't remember what I did. I listened to Herbie Hancock and Miles Davis where they have 8 takes of these 12-minute pieces. So the process of recording, had I had it that way and we did it as close to that as possible, would have been musicians around a mic feeling the energy and playing. I then did that perfectionist thing where you have to keep listening to it over and over again. I don't know how many times we mixed and mastered, and then I was like, I'm done with it. Then I'm like, let me get somebody else to listen. No, actually, let's just leave it. And every single time I was ready to release some massive project would come, and then I'm like, hi, let's leave it. And then I was like, girl, you're turning 40. I'm trying to do a bit of a bucket list. Why just release it as it is? It will find its people, even if it's one person like my parents or whatever. It's fine. But I'll be honest, it is a very difficult process for me. I know my team is in the room and they already said, you're going to have to make new music. I want to be like, bring the band in a room and we just record live. But the process of studio, yeah, it's very, very difficult for me.
And I suppose the same applies to radio because you've got all this creativity, but you have parameters, the broadcast clock, you have ad breaks, news to do. But I mean, I'm sure you can handle the studio now, seeing that you've done radio.
I can handle the studio. Studio's not the same when it's your money. You're not like, thanks, record label, I've got 3 months on a writing camp. I know I can handle it, but my biggest challenge is not even vocals. It's just getting out of my own damn way and not overthinking everything. So, I mean, I look forward to the challenge. I'm looking forward to embracing it. I'm looking forward to bringing new music, and maybe we can find a compromise about how that process happens, because I don't know how many times in studio I said, I'm too sober for this shit.
Have some cigar weed, girl, for some inspiration.
Young sip.
Little sippy. So what's your favorite genre? Because, I mean, you've explored jazz, you mentioned techno. Do you like pop? What is your favorite genre, if there is one?
I'm going to classify it as soul. And the way I classify soul is somewhere, somehow, somebody's soul is going to connect to mine through my craft. And it will take, obviously, certain influences from your Jill Scotts to your Miriam, your Sibongile Khumalo, your Al Jarreaus. But, I mean, I even love reggae and dancehall. My band wanted to kill me when I threw Mbatanga on them earlier on. They're like another thing after we had salsa. So it's hard to say, but if I were to choose a genre for the rest of my life, it would be jazz, because improv means you can do anything, anytime.
Notemba Madumo is here. Please note, we are expecting a jazz album from Lebu. Before we open the floor for your questions as well, we've got Melissa with the roving mic. I just want to ask one final question, and that is, when listeners press play, do they still press play? We don't have cassettes now, I'm just saying. But when you start the EP and Still Me Live, what do you hope that they will feel and take away from the experience? What sort of connection do you expect from your listener listening to your music?
Greater connection with self. I mean, I hope each and every one of us can walk out of this with the gift of being able to heal by connecting with self. And unfortunately, the world tainted us, right? And I look at my 4-year-old son, who is untainted completely. And I think to myself, how do I preserve that as long as possible? If I connect with myself, he will connect with himself. So I hope people hear the music and think, yo, why am I feeling something about myself in this? Whether it's nostalgia, whether it's joy, whether it's reconnecting with grief. I think that's the biggest thing, because for me, it's been a healing experience that has gotten me to a point where I'm like, I am sound. Not just the sound, I'm sound of mind. Akekanye. These experiences I've had that don't make sense. I am sound. And that is one of the most healing things ever.
Self-connection and self-reflection, I suppose, is part of the healing process. Getting in touch with your inner child. I mean, after I turned 50-something, I fell in love with radio all over again. And it's just amazing when you just have this youthful exuberance. You're not restricted by rules and what people told you. So these days, when I'm on the radio, I just engage with my listeners. My playlist is not restricted, thankfully. 702 Management allow me that leeway with my listeners. Shout out. That's why over 300,000 people tune in.
Yes.
And it's the biggest music show. But I'm just saying, that connection and that reconnection with your inner child and where you started off versus getting tainted, it's such a beautiful reinvention of self.
And I think I try to incorporate all of that in everything I'm doing. I mean, even with producing of the Safters, when I work with artists, I'll be like, this is what I felt with your song, can we try this? And I'm so fortunate I work with people that are open to things that don't immediately make sense, but they trust the vision. So with the listeners, I mean, today we're talking about at what point are you no longer a visitor in someone's house? Like, right? And some were like, oh no, if I can comfortably open the fridge, I'm no longer a guest. And this guy called in and he's like, yo, I knew I was no longer a visitor when I also got a hiding. Or like, I was also told, hey, it's your turn to wash dishes. And what I love about those conversations is it is just basic human experiences. And I try through conversations to connect to a person, to connect to their inner child. And through my music, I hope I'm doing the same thing. So everything I do in media really it's around healing and remembering self and going back to who we were. Because honestly, I feel if more of us healed, half of the things happening in the world would be happening right now. That island, shut it down. That island.
So your feature on your show, Failing Forward, you had me on your show as well.
Oh, Upside of Failure, yes.
Upside of Failure,
yes.
yeah. And, you know, it was cathartic because when you talk about your difficulties and challenges in life, it's part of that healing journey as well. So thank you for what you do on the radio and through your music. We're going to open up the floor now to some Q&A. Nick is standing by. Can we get Melissa with the mic there? And Nick will pose a question.
Greetings. Relebogile, well done. Congratulations. 40 is when we get a brain. And I've known you since in your early 20s. I've worked with you when you were proclaiming all you wanted to do. So today, I'm so proud because of everything that you've achieved. You've still got a lot more to do. Don't ever stop. Open the Relebogile School of Awesomeness, if you can. Question is, what would you write in a letter to your 21-year-old self?
What I'd write to a letter to my 21-year-old self is, girl, you've got time. Breathe. Be present and enjoy. I've been a workaholic since primary school. And even 100% on a report card was not enough. I got that 102% with bonus marks. But I really would have just allowed myself to be more present and not worry too much about what's to come or what might come or what has happened. And I think I would be less high-strung, but at the same time, there's so many gifts that have come out of that. So this being my coming out party, I guess, being 21 again, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing.
Do we have another question on this side? We'll come to you, sir. Nick always asks difficult questions. He's such a radio producer.
Hello, beautiful lady.
Hey.
You look absolutely gorgeous, and I'm so inspired by the work that you do. I just wanted to ask you a question. You spoke a lot about grief, and it's something that I'm currently going through right now. How do you navigate? It's so deep. How do you navigate grief, as well as pursuing your dreams? How did you manage to successfully tie that together?
So I'm going to be real with you. I've been in and out of talk therapy for years. When I turned 21, I said, I ain't going to wait till I have problems, and went to talk therapy. But being the intellectual and overthinker that I am, it reached its ceiling where I realized I'm shishing myself now. Because I thought once you've intellectualized and understood, okay, these are the issues, this is why I don't feel good enough, abandonment, therefore. But that wasn't the answer. The answer was to sit in it. I still struggle with it, I'm not gonna lie. And I explore many alternative forms of healing, be it ketamine infusions, be it alternative forms. But for me personally, I had to stop talking because you explaining away why things happened does nothing, and neither does time. And I'm sending you the biggest love, because the grief, it will always be there, right? Now we just need to learn to sit with it. And it's horrible. We have phones that we can doom scroll on. We have things we can distract ourselves with. But the most difficult thing is sitting without holding back that lump in your throat, without filtering the things you want to say. Sometimes I'm like, Marukoko, why did you leave me? Like, I'm actually mad at you. I know you was old, but come on, a few more years. You know, I'm very real about it. And even when I talk to God, I'm like, wena. So I am learning to be less here and more here. And because we've been taught now, we're in the era of naming everything. Oh, I'm avoidant. That's a narcissist. Forget that language and sit with what it is you're feeling without trying to name it, without trying to explain it, without trying to suppress it. And it's going to be ugly. I'm not going to lie to you. There are ugly cries. Tsamamina. And it's going to happen, but that is part of the process. And as women, especially the older you get, if you go long periods without crying, you get sick. Yeah. Your nervous system gets messed up. Your immune system goes down. So there is no shortcut, babes. It's like seeing the hot coals and choosing to sit on them, knowing it's going to burn, but trusting that at some point it's not going to burn anymore.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Adulting is hard work. But feel your feels, but most importantly, feel love. Self-love and love for others as well. We have a gentleman here who wanted to ask a question. We'll take two more after that, lady as well on the right, and you. Okay, we'll make it 2+1. How about that? Nice Indian
okay.
Good thing. Relebogile, definitely for the music that you've just given us. Potsoyaka is what you mentioned, being in your own way. What are some of the ways that you notice that you get in your own way, and how do you overcome that?
I haven't been trusting myself. And I think I've spoken about it before, that I can freely say. I think for many years, I struggled with having the kind of emotional support specifically from my father. And I never want to refer to it as daddy issues, because that label is so misleading. My needs were different from my siblings. And I realized there were many things I was doing to gain some kind of approval, until I had a moment where I said, no one is coming to save you. You can't cry and say, why don't they love me enough, or why am I not good enough for them too? Are you good enough for you? Do you accept you? Because the world is going to mirror what you feel about yourself. And that's the process I am in, is relearning what I feel about myself. And if what I'm learning is okay, I understand the source. I'm a grown woman now. What am I going to do about it? So it is a difficult journey, and it is one that, I say N1, a young Cape Town, and you just drive, and then maybe there's like a roadblock. No, it is like off-ramp, dead end, U-turn, flat tire, run out of petrol. And again, I'll reiterate, it has not been pretty. It is not easy, let me tell you. Going through grief, I mean, we lost 2 colleagues that I was close to. You still have to go on air. There's a saying in the industry that says the show must go on, right? But I think I've learned to be a bit more vulnerable with listeners. My producer, I'm not sure if he's here, Abel, always says, "Orataula." And I realized, as the petty man he is, he doesn't like me crying because he can't look at me. So now he's mixing the desk, not looking at me. So it is finding the balance of all of it. And unfortunately, I can't go to Kenny and say, "Kenny, what did you do?" and try apply it. I listen to everybody and I say, I'm gonna navigate and figure it out. But one thing I've done is I've surrendered to the process of trusting, but also trusting myself. When my gut says, let's do this, let's change these set designs, it's gonna cost me more, I no longer question. I just say we're doing it, we'll see when we get there.
Kalebo.
Thank you. We'll move on to the 2 ladies.
Hi, Relebogile.
Hi.
My name is Tumelang Komana from True Love. I have 2 questions. I'm surprised, though, that no one has asked you, what can you not do? I would like to know.
Can I answer?
Please do. And that's a bonus question.
Settle. I cannot settle.
I like that. And, I mean, you spoke just now about balance, you know, and from what we see, the clips on TikTok, and we see, you know, your beautiful boy, and I'm always like just in awe. I'm like, oh my gosh, this child is so smart, you know, and you do podcasting, the multi-talented. You know, I think at this point, we might just have to assume that everything great coming out of South Africa, Relebogile is somewhere there in the credits, you know? But like, how do you juggle? How do you find the balance of it all?
I don't have that answer because even I don't know. A day ago, I was in rehearsals with the band. Now, I'm in the middle of producing the Safters. I've got clients. I'm a mom. I still want to cook at home. And I said to the band at rehearsals, who asked for this? Like, why are we even doing this? I don't know. But what I do know is I'm never going to eat an elephant at one time. So let me deal with the one bite, pull off the toenail, peel the skin. It changes every time. As I'm sitting here, I'm very underslept. I didn't know if my voice was going to make it. The doctor came to help with a vitamin drip. I have a fantastic team, and I take it moment by moment. I mean, there's days where you're like, okay, I have to do soccer with my son because he missed me. I've been at rehearsals. And then I was like, girl, you tired. Also, he's skipping and he didn't touch the ball the last time. So, ukaba sharp, let me take care of myself. So it's every day honoring how I feel. Now the next part is learning about the mom guilt and figuring all of that out.
Okay, and just to reel it back to music, in your EP, what would you say this is my favorite song and why?
Still me. Because it literally tells the story of who I am. That this is who I am, and it doesn't matter how you know me, how you met me. And in the second verse, where I'm saying, I want to find that little girl with the broken heart, that she's fighting for her life, breaking down despite all of the love her mother gave her, because she had to figure it out for herself. So I'm still me, bad mood, good mood, PMSing, wanting to quit everything. At least once a week, I want to retire from everything and like kidule gom kuku and just switch off. But it's still me. That song, if I were to say, listen to a song that is me, that is it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
By the way, she says she's underslept. She was on the WhatsApps to me this morning at 6. Normally, I'm only up by 9, but I had a feeling I had to be up early. So I think she goes at it 24/7. Next question.
Hi, Relebogile. My name is Kefense Shamini. I'm blown away, goosebumps, like you took my breath away. Also been going through grief. I lost my brother last year. And my one question to you is, you do so many things, picking back on her question. You do so many things and you do them with such confidence and such self-belief. How did you get there? Like, how did you get there where you were like, listen, I'm still going to wake up today and I'm going to do all the 150 things that you do, and you do it with such grace and you're so talented with it. What would you tell the 27-year-old me in self-belief, and basically like what grounds you?
I think we've been misled about confidence because we expect it to be a feeling that you're going to get up and you feel something. But it's understanding when you need to be on and what for. So I say to my team, Sasha fears it. Sometimes you aren't going to feel good about yourself. Just before, when we were getting ready, like things I was like, okay, let's just cancel. It's, but I promised myself that I'm going to do it anyways. Whether I feel like it, I've gone on air where my voice has cracked because I'm teary. I'm doing it anyway. So I took the confidence out of the equation. I promise you, if you wait for confidence, you're going to fail. There are people that are 70 and 80 and still don't feel confident. And the best way, if you want to build the muscle, is to try and fail at as many things as possible. Do things that are hard without the expectation that you're trying to make a career out of it. Do things, simple things, even if it's just trying to color in the lines with a oil pastel. But I took away the thought of, I need no, just do it anyways. I'm scared, but I'm doing it anyways. Other people that are successful, that are mediocre, are doing it. They are, and they're making money off of it. The difference between them and you is they are doing it. That's it. It's not that they are necessarily better or that they have the confidence. So sometimes I say to myself, what would like a very mediocre American white man that's a Nepo baby do? And then I do that.
I think we have to say that the fear of failure becomes your own prison.
Yes, it does.
And like you said, mediocre people are soaring. And those of us who are talented but we fear failure, we don't try.
There are mediocre people that are running countries and they still believe they're doing a good job at it. Like, can you imagine that if you took confidence out of the equation, the difference is they got up and they did it. So while you're still sitting saying, but that hey, I'm telling you, Brad is going to go after that job. He's not going to be like, but even when they ask for that salary negotiation, you're going to say, what would Brad do? Simple.
Just like Nike, just do it.
Just do it.
We'll take two more questions, the lady on my right and the gentleman in the front.
Hello, Relebogile.
My producer.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm hoping you took a moment during everything, and while you were on stage, you took a breath and you took a moment and you say, it has happened. It is here. I'm within. I'm taking space. I have done it. It is done. I am here. I hope you had that moment. I hope when you go home, you get that moment and you feel it. I got a combo question for me.
Yes.
So you're a perfectionist. You're a perfectionist. What were the imperfections that really worked out in this journey and in this project with the EP? And my other question is, what interpretations of your EP that surprised you? Artists will say, I will never question anyone's interpretation. If they interpret it how they want it, it's for them. I've released it, I've said my piece. Interpret it how you want it. So when people gave you feedback or said something to you, what surprised you about those interpretations that you never thought, my goodness, is that what you got from it? Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm glad.
Let me work backwards because I remember the last question. You'll remind me on the other one. So the biggest feedback I've gotten is women in particular and some men saying, how did you know me that you wrote a song about me? Like, that's me. So I didn't expect so many people. I could imagine people saying, I can relate to that girl, but they said, I am that girl. And they feel like I wrote the song for them. I did not imagine that me writing words about how I feel, somebody else that I've never met far away says, wow, you wrote that about me. And with how everything is accessible, people in Kenya, people in the US, you wrote that song about me. Like, I was shocked. Not because I don't think certain emotions are universal, but you listened to the lyrics and you said, wow, that's me. And I felt that way about many artists, Stevie Wonder and some of the lyrics. So I'm like, dang, you were in my head. The imperfections that worked out is this was never supposed to happen like this at all. We literally were supposed to do a radio performance and just one technical issue. And I said, you know what? We're not going to cancel. Let's just rechange what we're doing and record. And I remember I had to rush for radio. And I said, guys, we have one take. So don't worry about the notes. Let's enjoy it. And that's what the body of work is a group of people that came together to make something meaningful. And we're here now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll take the final questions. And at the end of the day, it's not about how perfect things are, but it's how sincere you are about delivering on that.
Definitely. And I'm in my vulnerability era. Like, I can't wait till I'm 70. And you know those old people that really don't care. I can't wait.
It feels like you're halfway there.
Oh, listen. I really am.
A massive congratulations from the heart. I was actually remarking to somebody that it reminded me of one other session where you did this with a band at Village Walk.
Blues Room
existed. During the day, there were moments where I felt you were doing that stage thing that reminded me when you started on stage. So it's theatre on the list in your...
Funny enough, I miss the stage. I've been saying how much I miss the stage. And I've surrendered it to God that when the right project comes along, it will happen. I know for a fact I'll go back on stage. There is something about perfecting the craft that no night is different, the stamina of 8 shows a week. There is just something about it, and that's my home. It's where I started. And it's interesting because I keep finding myself back in the theater. I produced a show for MultiChoice. It was at the Teatro. Then I was emceeing something for Woolworths, and it was at a theater. So the universe, I trust, whether it's a one-woman show or I'm playing a lead, I know it will happen. It's just a matter of when.
So I think the title of Diva is well earned. And we just shower that on you. Just a few words of thank yous to the record company, your record company that you're part of, label-headed, as well as the Prime Media family, 702 in particular, to our studio audience, as well as the streaming audience. We give thanks. And as your name suggests, Relebogile, we thank you. And we thank God for blessing you with the talent that you are willing to share with us, albeit in a vulnerable way and in a very sensitive and caring and loving way. Thank you so much.
And just so everybody knows, I have a very dark sense of humor. I just try not to share it too much, because people meet me in public and they want to tell me about these really dark, heavy things they're experiencing, and I have to bite my tongue from being like, did she leave you money? At least. Tukunyana, So I want to say firstly, Kenny Maistry, thank you. I'll settle that invoice with 100% discount.
Hey, I'll make one nice price for you, man. What kind?
The iconic Kenny Maistry who jumped at the opportunity. And I just said, please just MC. And he's like, I want to play music. I said, yes, yes, yes. Of course, to 702 family, my colleagues who are like, come on the show, John Perlman on Afternoon Drive, Clement Manyatela on his show. We did an interview today. And of course, label-headed, thank you for taking me on. and figuring out how we're making this work. To my team, I've got stage managers, my technical team, the streaming team. There are so many people that are fully behind this. My radio producer, who ends up taking care of everything in my life either way. We have an intern that I'm trying to adopt, Kakeho, who's been running around helping, but also everybody who's attended. I mean, to my family, I am you. I am the product of each and every one of you. This person sitting here is because of my family and my loved ones. 702 listeners that were like, we just want to come. And the people who DM'd, I'm so grateful. I don't even know how else to share how grateful I am. And I can only hope that everybody enjoys the music and book me. We are ready as a band. Quotation RFQ is coming your way.
And catch you on the radio tomorrow between 1 and 3 p.m. on 702.
Wait, am I still doing that?
Are you? Yes, you have to. You're back at work.
On air today, when I was doing the interview, the number of people saying, no, but okay, we like the music, but are you leaving us? I'm not leaving. I'm still here.
The multi-talented Relebogile Mabotja. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. Please go take pictures and have a great time. And don't forget to post on social media and buy my mommy's music. Streaming now. Thank you.